Okay, Stacy, do I have your permission to record?
Yes.
Thank you. And so, if you'd like a copy of our privacy notice, you can download that from our website at mursion.com/privacy notice. Okay, so let's just talk about the logistics of the program. So you'll have around 15 minutes in the simulator to run the scenario, and time permitting, we may be able to run through portions of it again. Now, at the end of the simulation, I will return to guide you in a reflection of your experience. If at any point you feel overwhelmed or need to stop for any reason, just say pause simulation, and I'll return to address any concerns that you may have. Now, when you're in the simulation, all the students, they can write, they can raise their hands, they can participate in a parent share. However, if you ask them to do something that's outside the limitations of the program, they'll say something like, well, the principal says we can't do that for such and such reason, and that's going to be your cue to move on. Okay?
Okay. So can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So in my lesson, if my activity is I'm holding up example, like I'm gonna hold up a whiteboard with a
Yeah.
math problem, are they allowed to? And I say write down the right problem, write down the math problem, tell me the answer. The simulation can do that at least.
They can write. Yes, they can write.
Oh,
You won't be able to
all
see
right.
what they're writing, but you'll be able to see that they are actually writing something. So, okay?
And I can ask. This is my first time ever doing this. That's why I'm asking another
Okay, no
question.
problem. Feel free to ask.
And if I ask Nate, what's the answer? Will Nate respond like 100?
Well, Nate will respond according to how he's being taught, but he is able to respond with the correct
But
answer
they
if
will
he is.
respond.
Oh yes, they will definitely respond, in real
Okay.
time. So it's just like talking to real people in there, okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Also, if there are any technical problems, just ask for me, Michael, and I'll return to address it. Okay, so we're gonna just go over the outcome once right now. Okay, so the outcome that you are trying to achieve here is to evaluate your students' understanding of exponents. Okay? All right, so right now we're going to go ahead into the simulation, and as soon as you see the students, your simulation will begin. Okay?
Hello, students. My name is Mr. Perkins. How are you all?
Hey, Mr. Perkins, how you doing? Oh, I
I'm do-
like those headphones. Those
I'm
are
doing very
cool.
well.
Yeah,
Oh, I
those are
appreciate
cool.
that.
I like those. I want some for myself.
Well, one day you will. So, but how about this? We don't have that much time today, okay? So I'm gonna have to quickly get started with the lesson. Today, we will be learning about exponents. Our learning goals for the day is to learn about exponential form, expanded form, and standard form. So,
Okay,
a quick
okay.
question.
Excuse me. Did you know that Mercury and Venus are the only two planets in our solar system that do not have moons?
Excuse me, Nate. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
enthusiastic about planets, but right now we're going to learn about math. And one rule I have is you raise your hand before you speak. Now, if you want to tell me something, you raise your hand. Okay, Nate?
Okay, okay. I can raise my hand to tell you stuff about space?
We will later, but right now I'm going to teach
I,
my math
I,
lesson. Okay, Nate?
I, uh, uh,
Don't worry, Nate. We're gonna incorporate space in this math lesson, okay, to keep you engaged and excited.
yeah.
So don't so
Okay.
don't worry. Don't worry. All right. So when teaching exponents, the first thing we need to learn about it's called a base number. A base number is a common number. Example one, two, three, four, and five. Now, students, what I would like for you to do is get out a sheet of paper and a pencil, because I'm going to give you some notes and definitions to write down. I will give you
Okay, okay.
20. I will give you 20 seconds. All right,
Excuse me,
20
I
seconds
don't
is
know what
complete.
we're supposed to write down, but I just wanted to tell you, it's just that a lot of people think that Mercury is the hottest planet, but it's not. It's actually Venus because Venus has a lot of gases in its atmosphere, so it causes the
All right.
greenhouse
So
effect.
listen. So listen. If you're finished, I want everybody to put your hands up when you're ready. I want all 5 students to put
Okay.
your hands up when you're ready.
I was a little distracted. What were we supposed to be writing down? I'm sorry. I was working on something else. What was that?
Well, the instructions were to get your math notebook out,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was giving you 20 seconds to get it out. Now, once you get it out, I want you to raise your hand and keep it up so I can know you're finished. Now, I'm going to get started with the lesson. An exponent is a small number that represents repeated multiplication above a base number. So, in your notebook, I want you to write down exponent is a small number that represents
Exponent is a small number
that represents repeated
that
multiplication.
represents.
Repeated multiplication.
Exponents is a small number that represents. Exponents is a small number that represents
Repeated multiplication.
repeated multiplication.
I got it. I'm done. Savannah.
All right, awesome.
Oh, Savannah. Savannah's
So,
tired. Savannah.
so let me show you an example
Savannah,
of
wake
an
up.
exponent.
Savannah. Savannah. Savannah, you sleepy?
Now, excuse me, the person who is
Yeah.
speaking,
Oh, I'm sorry.
are you?
I was just. I'm sorry. My friend was sleeping. I was just seeing. If she was. Just too tired or something.
I appreciate your concern for the student, but next time, just raise your hand. If you raise your hand, I will attend to you, but
All
don't just
right.
speak out of turn. You understand?
Okay. My bad. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Now let's move on. So, this is a base number and an exponent. The large number 10 is the base, and the small number 2 is the exponent. Now, Nate, earlier you were talking about planets, and I also remember a conversation we were having yesterday that you love Star Wars, right?
Oh
And aren't
yeah,
there
I
bases
really
on
love Star Wars. Yes,
and
yes.
aren't there bases on planets in
Yeah,
Star
yeah,
Wars?
yeah. There are
So,
there are bases. Yeah. Uh-huh.
so when you see these big numbers and the small number, think of this big number as a planet, a base planet. So think of your
Okay.
planets, and it's called a base.
Okay, that's a
So, Nate,
base
I'll ask
planet.
you one
Okay.
time. So, what is this number?
Okay, it's a
Is it
10, but you said it was a planet. You said that it's supposed to be a planet.
Nope. It's called a base. I
A
just
base
want you to
planet.
think. Nope. It's called a base. I just want you to use planets to help you think because that's what you're interested in. So when you see it's called a base. So you'll never forget that this is called a base. And the small number 2 is called an exponent. So now
Okay,
I'm gonna write.
I don't understand what that means. What's the two for? I just don't understand what the two is for right now. I don't it doesn't make
All
sense.
right. All right, Nate. I know it doesn't make sense, but we're gonna get there, okay? So let me write down one more step to maybe help you, okay? Trust me, we got this. Now, the small number 2, it tells me how many times I need to multiply 10. So, how many tens do you see on the second line?
I see two tens. It's 10 times 10. So there's two tens on there.
Exactly. Good job, Nate. So, this little 2 is telling me I need to make 2 tens, 10 times 10. Now, I'm going to call on Jasmine.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
So I have now an exponent, a base number 10, exponent 3. How many times will this 3 tell me to multiply the 10?
It's going to tell you to multiply 3 times, I think.
All right. So I should write 10 times 10 times 10. Now, when you see
Oh, yeah. Okay.
repeated multiplication, so good job, Jasmine. Thank you.
I get it.
So when you see
You're welcome.
repeated multiplication like this, they have a name for it. It's called expanded form. So in your notes, I want you to write 10 times 10 times 10, and next to it, expanded form. And let me spell it for you. Expanded form is spelled EXPANDED. Expanded form.
Okay,
One way
expanded
to
form.
remember,
Okay.
yes, sir. One way to remember that it's expanded form is that it expands. The word expand means to extend in length. Now, I have a question for Devin, if I may ask. What is 10 times 10 times 10?
Actually, my name is Dev.
Oh, Dev, I
Yeah,
apologize. Do you accept my
it's okay.
apology?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I have a question for you. What is 10 times 10 times 10?
Uh, 10 times 10 times. I can't think that quick about how many. Oh, I guess maybe a thousand. Is it 1,000 or
Yes, you are
10,000?
correct.
One of those. Okay.
It is
Okay.
1,000. You are correct. Remember, when you answer, always have confidence, even when you're wrong. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So I respect that. The answer is 1,000, and you're correct. So when you see 1,000, we basically know that that's the answer. However, in math, we call this standard form. So in your math notebook, I want you to write the number 1,000, and next to it put standard form. It's spelled STANDARD. So you guys are really smart, and I think you guys are some good quick learners. So let's do some quick practice. So we don't have that much time, but let's get some few practice in, okay? So we can know where we are, to see if we understand the lesson. So what I'm going to do, how about this? Let's pause. Get out a sheet of paper out your book. And I want you to fold it in 4 corners like this. So hamburger style, then hot dog. And for each corner, I want you to label 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we're going to do 4 quick problems.
The principal said we can't fold our paper like that because we just have to do things on our laptop, on our iPad.
All right, I appreciate that. So on your iPads, we're going to do 4 questions, okay? So the first question, we write it down on my board.
Okay. But are we going to talk about some more about space? Because I just wanted to tell you that, like, if a star passes too close to the moon, it'll be torn apart. If it passes too close to a black hole.
I appreciate the information, but remember, Nate, just raise your hand. I'm all about respect. If you raise your hand,
I'm sorry, I forgot to raise.
And then I acknowledge you. So yes, Nate. Now speak.
Okay, yeah. Did you know that there's no sound in space, so even if you yelled really loud and someone was standing next to you, they actually wouldn't even be able to hear you because there's no sound in space.
No. So let me tell you something. Thank you for teaching me something today. But guess what? Now I want to teach you something. So thank you for the space fact, but now can I give you a math fact?
Yeah, yes.
All right, so this is what my math fact is. 10 to the third power Is this exponential form, expanded form, or standard form?
Uh,
Just raise your
I,
hand.
I,
Dev,
yeah, it's gonna be exponential form.
good job.
He's smart. He's smart, Deb.
Now, how
Smart
about
Nate.
Savannah? I haven't really heard from Savannah today.
Man, that's because she's asleep. I told you she was asleep, man.
Don't call out loud, okay? And
Okay,
don't
I'm
say things
sorry.
like that.
That's right. That's
Sometimes
right.
you have to keep things to yourself. Okay?
Okay.
You never know how you never know how somebody's feeling. Okay?
You right. You
So
right. You right.
Savannah.
You right.
So Savannah, I'm
Um,
sorry I haven't really been paying you any attention, okay?
yeah,
Even if you're tired, wake up.
yeah,
Okay?
okay,
Let's keep you engaged. And I
all right.
apologize. I apologize for not keeping you more engaged, okay? Even though
Yeah,
you're tired. So let's wake up. So I'm gonna ask you this
okay.
next question. What form is 10 times 10 times 10? Is it exponential, expanded form,
Um,
or standard form?
um, I don't,
How about this,
I don't
Nate?
know.
How about this? So, Nate, I'm going to call on you. Oh, I'm sorry. Jasmine has her hand raised. Yes, Jasmine.
Yeah, that is expanded form, right? It's expanded form, I think.
Yes, Jasmine. Good job.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
So now let's do another problem. But this time I want Nate to help out Savannah because Savannah was tired and I don't think she was paying attention. So, Nate, would you like to help?
Yeah, I can help. I can help. I can help.
All right. So, Nate, what is the standard form of this number? Remember, standard means answer. So, what would this be? 10 to the second power.
It's gonna be 100.
Good job, Nate.
Yeah, it's 100. I know that because 10 times 10 is 100. So yes.
Good job, Nate. So, Savannah, did you hear that? Nate said the answer is 100 because 10 times 10 is 100.
Yeah.
10 to the second power is telling you that you're multiplying 10 two times. You got that,
Okay.
Savannah?
Okay,
And
yeah.
thank you, and thank you, Nate, for helping out your classmates. That's a good job. It's always good
I
to help people out when they're struggling, no matter what. Okay.
yeah.
So, it seems that our time is almost up. So, in conclusion, our goals for us today was to learn about exponential form, expanded form, and standard form. I believe in the time that we had today, we did a great job of understanding very quickly because you guys are very, very smart. Now, the next time I see you all, we will take exponent form to the next level and learn more things. But I'm very satisfied today, okay? And thank you all for helping each other out and having each other's back, okay? And thank you for being respectful. So I
Okay,
hope you guys have a
you're
great day.
welcome. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you later.
Okay, great. So, Stacy, how are you feeling after that scenario?
Pretty good. It turned out a lot better than I thought. I
Oh,
wasn't really sure about the Mursion app. I thought I didn't know the responses would be that great.
okay, well, good, good, good. All right. So, well, first of all, in relation to your outcome and what you were trying to achieve, what strategies or practices do you feel you used well in this classroom setting?
I felt like I used well of controlling the classroom and keeping the direction on exponents, even with all the distractions.
Absolutely, absolutely. I thought you did a great job of it, of redirecting, because there were quite a few distractions. But like I said, you definitely, when a student was being distracting, like for example, Ethan and Nathan, you mentioned them, you called them out on it, but and made sure to redirect them to focus on what you were training them. What else do you feel like you did well?
I think for the amount of time I had to cover exponents, I know Some students it's a struggle, and I feel like the 15 minutes. I think I try to do the best I can to cover you know the three forms in 15 minutes to maybe students that never heard of it. Um, so I think I did a great job on that.
Yes, I mean, definitely that was a short time, but yes, I feel like you did a great job of explaining it very thoroughly and carefully. So I thought you did a really great job of explaining that. Um, I also want to add that, you used your visual tools. The whiteboard, that was a great tool to bring in, especially to explain something like exponents to make it very clear. So I thought that that was a really great thing that you brought in as well. Um, so what modifications did you use to support all of your students?
Um, well, I noticed. Well, at first I didn't notice that the animation Savannah was sleeping,
Hmm.
so I kind of had a. I try to go back to how to reteach something because I didn't acknowledge her. That was my mistake, and
Right,
so she
right.
wasn't paying attention. But at the same time, I try to use Nate. Nate seemed like a type of kid who keeps wants to teach me all the time. Planets, planets, planets. I'm like, all right,
Right,
fine.
right.
Since you're paying attention, helps your classmate Savannah come back. But at the same time, I'm still trying to keep it forward, not going too back, just because one student isn't paying attention. Does that make sense? And I
Yes,
think that's kind of how I kind of modified a lesson like that.
so
That's the only one
so
I can think of off.
okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying you modified your lesson because Savannah was sleeping, so you tried to kind of get her on track by also using Nate as to help kind of solidify the teaching to Nate by having him
Yes,
explain and answer some questions. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, great, great. And so, did you have any special populations in this class?
Um, what does that mean exactly? You said special
For example,
populations.
uh, okay, so do you have any that have I would say special needs is a term that is also used. So special populations is another
Oh, okay.
term. So,
Well, I know Nate was on autistic.
hmm, correct. And so, what did you do to accommodate him?
Well, what I did to accommodate him was he's very literal. So I try to keep the notes simple, like base number is common number. One, two, three, four. Exponent
Right.
small. I think when I try to incorporate the planets with him, it
Hmm.
the literacy he's literal and it kind of went left. He was like, "Oh, the planet, the base number is a planet," and then I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should just kept it simple for Nate. Even though that was his interest, I don't think I should have added that because it wasn't literal anymore. I mean, it was too literal. He thought the planet was actually the number. That was my
Hmm.
mistake.
Yes. Well, you know what, but honestly, I will say that I think that it was a great idea to try that. Maybe, if you were to try that again, just try it, make sure that the wording, make sure that it's clear and that they get it. But I think it's great to go ahead and bring up the something that they're interested in and try to incorporate it into the lesson. So I do think that that was a good choice to try it. Okay. Um, so if you had a chance to do this again, is there anything that you think you could improve upon?
Um, and like when you ask that question, do you mean if I was in the actual classroom or on the Mursion app?
And if you were going to do this scenario again in the
Like
Mursion
in the
app.
Mursion app?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I wish I could share my screen to show
Right.
like maybe a video because sometimes it, I know especially with this generation, me being in person, they're really very good responding to
All right.
videos while you're
Mm-hmm.
teaching.
Right.
That's what I've seen. Um, but in the immersion, I'm not sure how I would really improve as I'm trying my best because I only can use my camera.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I buy a whiteboard, maybe I can do this so I don't have to keep switching out whiteboards. Maybe I'll buy me a whiteboard behind me so I can just go
Mm-hmm.
like this for the
Right.
app purposes.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea as well. And I think that, in your interactions with the students, what about that? Specifically in your interactions with the students, anything you would change there? I mean, you did mention Savannah. What do you think you could do to make sure you're kind of keeping an eye on all of the students? Ethan kind of, he brought it up earlier. He was being a little chatty, but he brought it up obviously in a way that was inappropriate, and you addressed that. Uh, uh, but is there anything you think you could have done to
I
make sure that
I
all of
feel
your
like I
students were engaged?
yeah I should have been more engaging with them. Maybe I didn't. How I gotta put this? Some I should have called about maybe every student like in order or something like that. I wasn't visually doing too well, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, and then when I saw the names, I was like, "Oops, I didn't call on Jasmine. I didn't call." So I caught
Right.
on to it, but no. At first, I think I was too much focused on Nate
Yes.
because of when I got the scenario said you have a student named Nate. So in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe I just have to focus on
Right.
this kid, and I forgot all about everybody else.
Yes.
And I
Well,
know just because Nate have special needs, that doesn't other kids still need that attention also because
mhm,
everybody's the same. We're all inclusive. We're all together. So sometimes maybe I shouldn't give too much attention to one child because I might leave somebody like Savannah behind, and I think I left her behind.
right, right. So I think that that's a great point. Of making sure that you, even though may need to give special attention to one student, making sure you give attention to all of your students and make sure that they all feel involved and engaged. So what's one thing you think you'll take away from this experience?
I think it's a really smart, amazing tool, to be honest, especially with this COVID situation for teachers like me
Hmm.
who is doing this online. This is the only real, this is good practice. I mean, I wish I could do this every day because I can
Hmm.
get better at because,
Right.
um, and I like the experience, to be honest. It's helping me. And in this, because it's with you guys, I can figure out what I'm doing wrong better.
Hmm.
If that makes sense. I can
Oh
now
no.
when I go to sleep tonight, I can think on it like, okay, I should have done this. Help me be better in the classroom
Hmm.
because it's literally like it's a training, like sports training. It's
Right.
cool. I like it.
Good.
I
Well,
like this
I, I'm
experience.
I'm glad that it's worked for you and that you find it helpful. So that's a good thing. That's why we're here. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, Stacy, we are about finished right now. I just want to remind you that your video will be available on the Mursion portal where you originally scheduled the session. But for right now, that's all we have, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you
All right,
later,
you
okay?
too.
Okay,
All right,
bye
thank you.
now.
Bye.